there, my name's Andy Young and I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitech in Auckland, New Zealand. And today is another fabrication day. We're going to be making some new bumperettes for the back of my old Nissan Patrol, Nissan Safari. Now this old truck's about 24 years old and it came from England. And yes, she's getting a bit tired. And the rear bumperettes are pretty rusty. So we're going to pull them off and make some new ones. Oh yeah. Step on. Okay. Right, so we were 26 off here, weren't we? Right, so we've cut off, or removed, all the old bumper. That's the two bumperettes and the aluminium bit in the middle. Now, I really want to keep the aluminium bit in the middle, the aluminium step, to keep that Patrol look. You know, I wanted to try and keep it looking a bit like original, because it's cool. It's a cool old truck. But to make two separate bumperettes again, like they were on the vehicle originally, they're a bit weak, to be perfectly honest. They tend to bend a little bit, and then they're going to bend into the body and damage the bodywork. Not that the bodywork's fantastic, because it's not, but it doesn't want to get any worse. So my idea is to use a great big chunk of angle iron that you saw me cutting off an old frame that we had to run the full width of the vehicle. Now, unfortunately, what I've got isn't, one piece isn't long enough. I'm going to have to join it, so I'll do that next. I need an extra 300mm in length. Once that's done, the idea is that that angle iron is going to be welded directly to the remaining part of the bumperette brackets. Now, it's about 4mm thick steel, so it's pretty strong, so I'm just going to reuse that. Ben's already trimmed those down, and they're ready to accept the angle iron. But I don't want to weld the angle iron onto those brackets until I finish making the bumperette. So that's going to be the last job, is welding the finished product to the vehicle. Okay, so you've got an idea of the brief, something that's strong, durable, single piece, deflects vehicles on the corners, it's got a nice bit of chamfer on it. So I think it's probably time to do a quick drawing, because I've found with these fabrication videos, it's really difficult to not make them boring, actually, because there's a lot of repetitive stuff. There's a lot of grinding, there's a lot of welding, a lot of marking out. And unless you really know what it is that I'm doing and what part it is that I'm making, then it's very hard to make this video interesting. And I want it to be really interesting for you, so that you watch it all the way through and you've got a good idea what it's all about. So let's do a drawing, and then we'll make a little parts list, and then as I'm doing stuff throughout the video, we'll refer back to the parts list and we'll tick off whatever's just been done or whatever we're going to do. Okay, let's do that. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to do you a drawing, first of all, looking down from the top. And, well, we know we're going to use some angle iron. And the angle iron's going to sit, basically we've got the angle iron running across the vehicle like that. And there's the ends. Okay, so there's the angle. And we're looking down from the top, so that's the back of the angle there, look. Okay, that works. Now, I want to retain that aluminium step, so that's going to sit, hopefully, somewhere over there, like that, and it protrudes out the back a distance. Okay, so we'll stick that in there like that. So, once the whole thing's made, we're not going to see the angle in the middle. Okay, and that's the step. We can chevron that out. Now, sure, the steps, it comes up at the back and it's all shaped, but that's the area that's covered by the shape. So the next bit is I want to have some bumperettes. I want to have, I want the bumper to come round the side a bit because the body has a bit of a curve on it and we end up with a big void here. And it looks a bit scruffy if there's a big gap. So let's use some box section and put some box section on the ends like that, look. Okay, that works. Alright, so box section there. And the ends of the box section, the open ends, will be here and here. So the top's nice and flat. Now, I want something, so if there's a car, sort of, you know, or a rock or whatever it is that the vehicle encounters, rather than have this completely flat surface and the exposed aluminium, I want to protect that aluminium, so I'm going to need to have something that comes further back. So let's put some box section off the angle, so it's going to start about there is the box, and then let's bring that down to here. Look, so if we have a piece that comes from there off that corner, and we do that, yeah, that should work. Okay, let's do that. So we'll have another one here, bit of box sticking back off there, and then we'll just take that across. So about there, look. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So that's going to come across there and across there like that. Okay. Sorry, drawing's a bit crap. This one sticks out a bit further, but you get the idea. Alright, now let's do another drawing. Let's look at it from the back of the vehicle now. So again, we're going to have our angle line running along here. It's about there. So there's your angle. Now, because we're looking from the back, we've now got the horizontal of the angle iron down the bottom. This is the vertical. Alright, now again the step is going to take up that sort of area there, so it all lines up with the drawing above. So let's just block that off. There's the step, and again we'll chevron that out. Okay, now what's going on here is we've got some box section where we've got the square bit there, look, like that. That's that piece, and then we've got the angly piece, this one that goes to the end. Oh, let's put the box section in as well, actually. So we've got the box section here. It's probably going to step up slightly at the end, so we've got the box section there, and that's probably two pieces. Okay. Do that down there, dum dum dum, all very rough. Another piece there. Okay, and then we've got this bit which comes across and welds to that. Now obviously we'll put a plate on the end of there, so we've got something to weld to, so they're not hollow. We're going to cap the ends of that box. And, well, we could have one and then put the checker plate step on top of that, or I think what will look even more cool is if we have two. So let's put another bit of box section there pointing backwards and another bit going across there like that. Okay, and that gives us 2 bits of box with a bit of a gap between it. It looks a bit more meaty that way. And then the checker plate can sit on the top here somewhere. Cool. Let's just draw that in on this side. Dum dum dum, like that. Box section, another bit of box section, and it comes across like that. Cool. Okay, now this bumper isn't to be towed off. It can't be used as a recovery. It really is just a bumper, and the reason for that is it's only mounted to the chassis, and the chassis sits about here. See if I mark that in there. There's the chassis. Put a C on there for chassis. Okay, there's the chassis, and then on the side of the chassis we've got some existing mounts. Now there's the brackets for the tow bar, but there's also, in addition, the remaining brackets from the old bumperettes, which is about 4 or 5 mil plate, and we've just cut them off. Ben cut them off for me in line with the end of the chassis. So all I intend to do is to weld all the way down that end and join the new bumper, once it's all leveled up and everything and in position, to those existing brackets, and they're already cleaned up, ready to go. And then when we want to remove this whole thing in the future, we just undo the 3 bolts that hold, and they're all captive, that hold that bracket to the chassis. There's some bolts in there, look like that. Okay, well that's the idea. That's a rough estimate of how it's going to look. Now we need to make a parts list. Okay, so parts list. Well, we know we're going to need this great big long bit of angle, so we've got the angle line. There we go, and that angle that I've got in stock, which I'm going to have to use, all I've got, is 100 by 75, and it's about 8 mil thick. And we need one of those. And it needs to be the full width of the vehicle, which I have no idea, so I have to measure that. We're also going to need some additional angle, which I've not put on here. There's going to have to be some angle which basically doubles up and it goes over this area here, like that. So it covers there. 2 pieces. So we're going to need some more angle. Same stuff, I reckon, nice and strong. 100 by 75 by 75, and that's going to be distance. Let's call that distance to there. Let's call that F. Okay, by 8 times 2, and we want it to be F long. Okay, what else? Well, we've got some box section here to cut. So box section, ends, they're probably going to be about something in the region about 200 millimeters long, and we're going to need 4 of those. We've got these, what can we call those? They're like the angly bits, so we've got some more box. Now that box section is going to be, let's use some oblong stuff, so let's go for, I think it's 75 by 40 in section. This stuff though, let's use 40 by 40. So box 40 by 40, and again I've got no idea of length, so we'll have to just work that out as we go. Oh, that angle line, by the way, yeah, it runs under there, that's right. Okay. So dum 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 dum. Okay, well I think that's all the parts. We don't need that. I need that box section there. Oh, we need 1, 2, we need 4 of the long ones times 4 of the long angly bits, and then we're going to need 4 of these as well, whatever they're going to be. So we'll call those G. We'll make the same stuff, 40 by 40, G, and we want 4 of those, so let's give that one a number as well. Let's call that H. Okay, so that's going to be H, And let's call these bumperette things, the wraparound bits, W, wrap, okay. So, box section, let's call that W. Okay, well, I reckon that's it so far. Oh, we're going to need to cap, aren't we? So we need some caps for the end of this box section. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll make that out of 40 by 5 flat plate. Now that box is 75 by 40, so we're going to need 150 long, less a little bit because we want a chamfer on it. So let's say 145. So that makes 145 long, and we need 4 of those, and let's call that P for plate. So we'll just mark that on there, P. Right, okay. Okay, so we've got, quick run through, the full width bit of angle iron. We've then got, that's the really big stuff. And then we've got 2 smaller bits that are going to sit on top, go the other way. You'll see that going back on when I weld it. We've got some 75 by 40 mil box section. That's about 3, it's about 4 mil thick. We've got 4 of those to cut. Then we've got 40 by 40 box for the long angly bits. They're the bits the diagonal bits that come across at the ends. And then we've got some more, another 4 bits, which are it's forward bits. Okay. Right, and then we've got some plate to blank that off. So first of all, I'm going to go and make, because I need to extend the angle that I've got. It's not quite wide enough for the whole vehicle. I think we've got to add about 300 mil extra to a length to get the width that we need for the vehicle of the really heavy angle iron. So I wasn't going to do that now.
A single bolt design because I'm going to fabricate something. But it's got 2 nylox on it, locked together.
See what I was doing, it goes away a lot better. Right, so that's cut, and what I need now to do is to cut these 2 bits that are going to sit on top to give the angle a step that goes over the chassis and hides all the chassis at the ends, because the aluminium step will hide the chassis in the middle, but I need some extra stuff to hide the chassis either sides and to build off for these bumperette bits. So I'm going to need 2 of those. That's part F on the previous diagram. And yeah, 100 by 75 mil by 8 again, same stuff as the other angle, and I need 2 of those. How long? They're going to be about 300 mil a piece each as well, I reckon. So I'll go and cut those now. Put a sign on this. You are my crumple zone. Now there. Right, so I've got the big piece of angle extended, and I've got those two smaller bits of angle welded, sort of piggybacked on top, turned around. So that's all done now. Oops, there goes the pen. And next, really, I think we'll weld on those wrap rounds, those bits of box section, the 75 by 40 box, two pieces on either end, to come round the body on the vehicle to hide that gap and just tidy the whole thing up, just like the old bumperettes used to do. So I'm going to need now to cut 4 of these bits of 75 by 40 box section. It's about 4mm thick, and the stuff that I've got, it's off another job. It's come off a boat trailer. It's already painted, so I'm going to have to give them a really good clean up wherever I want to weld to. So I'll go and do that. Alright. Coolio. That's good.
Are you using bits of that boat trailer?
Yeah. Nice. Man, there's a lot of welding going on today. I need to cut some of these flat plates just to blank off those wrap pieces of box section. So we're going to use 40mm by 5mm flat plate. They want to be about 145mm long. I need 4 of those. Now again, I'm recycling steel. They've got a few holes in them, so I'm going to weld those up as I go. suppose really all that's left to do is to weld on the sort of the bumperette parts, the angly bits on either end of the angle iron. That's, well, these bits here. You know, I need to fabricate those up, so I've got to have to cut 4 of these, which is, oh, what do we label those up as? I don't know, H. So we need 4 at the H. They're going to be in length probably about 400 mil, maybe 350 mil. I don't know. I've got to measure it. And then, of course, we need these little pieces G here, which are these ones here as well. So I'll get all these cut up and measured. Making the first ones the hardest because you've got to get all the angles right. But once I've got that, I can just duplicate it 3 more times for each of these, rather than having to treat. You know, I want to keep them all exactly the same so it looks standard and everything lines up properly. So I'll get those made. Yep. Okay, so what we've got is, obviously this is as it sits on the car. A sort of bumperette thing going on here now, which is giving it a bit of depth, which is what bumperettes are all about. Now, this one was designed to go over there, but before I weld it on...
Is he going to double decker it?
Yeah, I could have that there like that, and that there like that, right? And then in between, just a couple of little bits of tube, make it hollow. Because I don't want to fill it in, because when it's exposed like that, it looks like more aggressive.
It's proper emerald.
Doesn't it? It's like, come on, when you're ready.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
there you go. It's on. It's not welded to the truck yet, and there's still, of course, this to go on as well, which will fit. He says, hopefully. Well, it will eventually fit. Close tolerance. Well, there you go. Look at that. Perfect. Good job. So that's got to fit in there, and obviously it'll bolt into position, but you know, gives you an idea what it's going to look like. I think it's pretty good. Day's work. Nice big strong bumper. Nothing's going to hit it. Well, things can hit it. Nothing's going to harm the truck anymore. And it does hide the stuff behind it, which is a bit rusty, to be honest. Yeah. It's got rid of that gap under there. Really chuffed with that. It's really good. So it's going to be a major clean-up session, paint, and then when it's ready, I've got to weld it to those brackets that are already on the vehicle. So there you go. Yes, it has been a long day. It must be about 8 PM now, and that's a long day for me in the workshop. Not getting any younger. Now, yeah, we used a lot of steel on that. It's pretty heavy, but that's okay. It's no problems. It's good and strong is the important thing. Weight was really irrelevant. Not interested. The vehicle's got a heavy-duty lift kit on it. The back end's a bit higher than the front because the front's got a bloody great big 16,000-pound winch and a ARB bull bar and stuff and wing bars and things. So front end's a little bit lower than the back, so it won't harm to give it a bit of ballast on the rear. Heaps of welding. It's just turned out to be a huge job. Lots and lots of cutting. I've run out of slit discs. These things, I think this is about the last one I've got, which is almost knackered, to be honest. There's hardly any gas left. It's been a pretty full-on sort of session. Yes, it's turned out to be quite different to my original drawing that I did at the start, but it still fulfilled the brief. The brief was super strong and to protect the bodywork and, you know, to protect the vehicle should some other vehicle go into the back of it. Basically, that's what it's all about. The old bumperettes were... I'll show you them. Look at the old bumperettes. Yeah, the old bumperettes. This is a bumperette. That's what we call a bumperette. And absolutely, they're holes. There's, you know, it's absolutely screwed. And in all honesty, these things were pretty bad 8 years ago when I came to New Zealand. 7.5 years ago. There was already holes in them then. And I said, oh, Ben, we'll make a new back bumper. And of course, everybody else's jobs comes first. But today, I decided to get rid of them. And make new ones so they can go in the skip. It's a bumper. Every bumper's different. We all make our own. Those that do winch bumpers, all that kind of thing. Detachable bumpers, half bumpers, tubular bumpers, whatever. When you make your own, it's to your style, your design. But maybe you've picked up some ideas. That's what these videos are all about. It's me sharing what I do in my workshop with you guys. And, well, I hope you found it helpful. I am going to sign the video off now. All that's left to do on that bumper is to give it a really good clean up and then weld it, paint the bulk of it, and then weld it to the two existing brackets that are actually on the chassis. They're bolted to the chassis now. They were the brackets that held the old bumperettes on. Originally I was going to make my own, but I had another look at them, and they're about 4, maybe 5 mil thick plate. Pretty strong, actually. So I've left those in place. No need to make any more. They're not rusty. They're in really good condition. So I'll just put a line of weld from the new bumper straight onto those, give it a paint, job done. So there you go. My name is Andy Young. I'm one of the automotive lecturers down at Unitech in Auckland, New Zealand. If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them down the bottom and I will get back to you, I promise. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, then of course you'll get notifications as and when any new videos get uploaded. And there's usually 4, 5 minimum every week going up on the channel. Very, very busy at the moment doing the videos for you. And the channel is becoming a success. I'm really, really impressed on how well you guys are supporting the channel. So thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of probably a ridiculously long video. Obviously, there's going to be lots of editing. There'll be lots of stuff that you won't see that would just, if I put it in the video, it would just make it boring. You know, I've got to try and get through at a reasonable pace for you. This is about, well, there's been 3 cameras on the go, and this has probably taken, I started at 11, it's now 8, and I've had no lunch yet. That's 9 hours constant work, bar a couple of phone calls. 9 hours, 3 cameras, you work it out. There's a shed load of editing to do. It's going to take me longer to edit the video than it is to actually make the bumper. But that's part of the fun. That's what it's all about. Okay, cheers. Thanks for watching. Over and out.